with a Republican candidate for California governor, someone who's challenging Gavin Newsom in this recall election, Major Williams. Major, great to have you with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, John. I appreciate it.
Well, there are tons of issues out in California, but, I was interested in this power issue because, California has issues with water. A lot of those issues are man-made problems. And one of the reasons why California is having issues with the power is because a reservoir there has fallen down, threatening the hydroelectric power. So, an outdated power system, as governor, what would you do to change that?
Well, it all starts with having foresight. We understand that, it is an outdated system and infrastructure as well. So as a leader, you would think that one would start, creating opportunities or building for the actual future. This is just another example of the misguided, weak leadership or even lack of vision from Governor Gavin Newsom, which ultimately we as taxpayers continue to pay for his missteps in his leadership style. So this is not a total surprise, but for me as governor, I will make sure that we have that infrastructure in place so that we don't have these problems 10 and 20 years later on down the line.
We both know that Gavin Newsom has always had designs on, political office outside of California. But I'm curious always to see how this works in politics in California, because Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco. When he left that city, it wasn't necessarily in better shape than when he took over. Then he goes on to become governor of California. California, you hear the economy's fine, but also at the same time, you hear people are moving out of California in droves, moving to places like Florida and Texas and states where they've had better luck during the lockdown. So, why do people tend to fail up in California politics?
Well, I just believe that, if you look at the track record of someone like Governor Gavin Newsom, as you stated, yes, he was mayor, he was also lieutenant governor, and also now governor. Never have I actually experienced or witnessed anyone to be a failure in multiple offices within the same industry, but continue to get propelled, which is why I exist. I am the alternative, and it's time for us to move those type of individuals out of office, because clearly if that's qualified, all of us are qualified, including electricians and plumbers as well. But we are facing a mass exodus of small businesses, also families leaving California, because it's not what it used to be. It used to represent a utopia of a lot of ethnicities, a lot of togetherness, and now it's not that so much. And so, like all things, if you're frustrated with something, you either have to make that adjustment, or you have to say, you know what, we have to pack up and try something else, which is what continues to happen here in our state.
Well, tell us, Major, a little bit about your background, what you've done before this, and what, inspired you to try and do such a crazy thing like becoming the governor of California.
Well, the foundation of it is that I'm like so many other Californians. I love this state. It's rewarded me with so much in regards to struggle, in regards to victories as well. My background has always been in marketing in various industries, but I've only been politically active as far as in politics specifically the last 4.5 years. And quickly, I start to learn and figure out that these candidates, elected officials, and also candidates lack the imagination. And like all things, as an entrepreneur and small business owner, I saw it as an opportunity to at least present myself as an alternative, because I've traveled for the last 14 months talking to actual Californians, and they are unified in frustration. And so knowing that and knowing what the state has afforded me and so many others, I at least want to step out there and sacrifice myself to give it a shot, and just let the people know that we do have an alternative that's going to be representative of common sense policies versus detrimental policies. And that's what we represent with this campaign.
It is a beautiful place. One thing that's interesting is you are getting some name recognition. Joe Rogan has talked very highly of you and your platform. He promoted you on his show. I saw you tweeted this as well. What makes you, you talked about like an alternative. Joe Rogan's kind of an alternative to the mainstream media, and that's maybe why he likes you. But, what is it about your platform that you think attracts you to guys like Joe Rogan?
I think, it all comes down to timing and the plight that we're all in right now, given the fact that we just come out of a long lockdown stage, but also just understanding that California isn't missing the richest or the smartest candidate or elected official. We're missing relatable leadership. Mm-hmm. And I think that not based upon my statistics or data or political experience, is based upon me sharing my experience and also my journey. And once I share that with so many people, it actually mirrors a lot of what they've gone through. And I think there's the relatability aspect is actually pushing us over the top and just bringing more awareness to our campaign. And I'm appreciative of it as I continue to earn the support of so many voters across the state.
Well, Major, I've been trying to keep up with it. I know the recall, the signatures are there. What's the next step in the recall election?
At this point right now, we're just waiting on the lieutenant governor to actually set the actual date, which should be at the end of October, early November. After that, they will have the election date. You'll be able to have two choices, either to recall the governor or not recall the governor. If you choose to recall governor, I just urge you to select Major Williams.
All right, Major Williams, great to see you. Good luck on the race out there in California. Love talking to you and would love to have you back soon, Major. Thanks so much.
Look forward to it, John.
All right, coming up.